happy holidays. Spiritual whistleblower here. Like I said, I promised to give y'all toxic family videos all this week because it's the holidays. Listen, whatever you celebrate, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, what have you, happy fucking holidays to you. But I'm going to be doing what I do best. And it's calling out these fucking demons called narcissists. Okay. So, I feel like wearing my petty boots in this video, and I'm gonna talk about y'all family members. And I know I told y'all to leave your family alone during the holidays and to have a peaceful holiday, but I know some of y'all is gonna go around y'all family members any damn way. So this video is really for y'all. If you're gonna be around your family, I challenge you to blast this fucking video around your family. I want to know what the reaction of your family members is going to be. Blast it loud so they can hear my big fucking mouth, because I'm going to go in on this video. Now, what do I want to talk about? And by the way, yes, I'm doing one-on-one coaching. I do 15-minute phone sessions, 30-minute and 1 hour. So if you need any advice, anything, I'm offering a 50% discount just for the holidays up until December 31st. 50% off of my original rates. That's right. That's my gift to you. My email address is pinned down in the comment section if you need a phone session for anything, any advice, your mother, father, sister, baby daddy, whoever the fuck is getting on your nerves on this holiday season. You hit me up and we can schedule it during this week, okay? I will even work on Christmas Day. Okay, so I want to talk about specifically in this damn video how your family, let me just get on your parents. Whether you have a narcissistic mother, a narcissistic father, in my case, both of my goddamn parents are narcissists. Both sets of my grandparents are narcissists. Both sides of my family, incredibly dysfunctional and toxic. They can't stand that I fucking talk about the shit and I don't give a fuck. They know not to bother me. They can't do shit to me. Can't nobody sue me for shit. I got receipts. I'm exercising my First Amendment right. I haven't threatened nobody's safety, so they better get the fuck on. But we all know they not going to get the fuck on because they stay motherfucking stalking me. And this is what we call monitoring spirits. Your bitch ass don't fucking like me. You've sat up and talked shit about me, talking about how fat I am. I can't keep a man. I'm this, I'm that. I'm mentally ill. I need help. You motherfuckers talk a whole lot of shit about me, but it's so funny that you keep up with every fucking thing I do. You watch me like a fucking hawk. And personally, I got to speak for myself. I don't stalk people I don't fucking like. I don't keep up with people I don't fucking like. I don't monitor and stalk people I deem as crazy. Why? If I don't fucking like you, why would I have any interest in what the fuck you're doing? But when you come from a narcissistic family, that demon inside of them, listen, they're monitoring spirits. And the reason why they're so obsessed with cyberstalking you, they're all over your social media pages after they done talk so much shit about you and spread fucking smear campaigns about you. It's because they know you're not seeking their fucking validation anymore. They see now that you've cut them off, that you're doing so much better. You're thriving. Your skin is glowing. Your body's looking good. You're flourishing. You have a fucking life. You're vacationing. You don't fucking need their fucking attention. You don't need their fucking approval. You don't need their goddamn validation. You don't want to be invited to the cookout. You don't want to be invited to the fucking family reunion. You ain't going to no fucking funerals. You want nothing to do with these people. Yes, you're blood relatives. Because now that you've realized that you are somebody special and always has been, even though they've downplayed you and fucking talked about you like a dog, bullied you over the years. They didn't want you to see your self-worth, honey. They didn't want you to build your self-esteem up. They want your self-esteem to stay low in the ground. They don't want you to be confident. They want you to chase for their validation. They want you to be on the phone begging, can I please come to the family reunion? Why ain't nobody called and told me nothing? Y'all always leaving me out of the conversation. Why? They want you to beg and chase. And now that they see that you're not interested, you're actually fucking disgusted to be a part of the family. You're disgusted that you're even related to these toxic motherfuckers. You want nothing to do with them. Now they're going to fucking obsessively gang stalk and cyber stalk. They all over your Facebook. They all over your fucking TikTok and your Instagram. I cannot tell you, I got cousins. I have cousins all over all my pages trying to get my attention. Yeah, because motherfuckers is finding out the truth that ain't nothing wrong with me. Wasn't nothing never wrong with me. I was raised by two fucked up human beings. And the truth is coming to the light. The chickens are coming home to roost. I was never jealous or envious of my fucking airheaded sister. She's a dummy with a pretty face. And that pretty face ain't facing no more. Because guess what? It's a whole lot of pretty bitches out here that got degrees and businesses and they bossed up and they don't live off they fucking mommy. They're not sucking their mother's titty and looking for handouts. They're totally independent of their fucking mommy and daddies. Boss bitches. I can never say that about my sister. My sister needs my mother. My sister is codependent on my mother. My sister has a deeply enmeshed relationship with my mama because she needs my mama's handouts. So that pretty face shit, you know, my mother has always taught her how to be a gold digger and, you know, you ain't shit without a man. That's a goddamn lie. That advice worked back in the 80s. See, my mother landed her a fucking drug dealer and married him back in the day. The nigga's broke now. He's busted, dusted, ugly, dirty ass pedophile and cheater. So she don't even want to, I guarantee my mother don't even want to sleep with him. Let alone, I doubt they even fucking live together. But she won't divorce the nigga, knowing the nigga molested her child. Knowing the nigga slept with one of her girlfriends. She wants to cling to her married title so bad because that married title makes her feel validated as a woman. My mother has low self-esteem. She's a goddamn pick-me. And she's passed down that teaching to my sister. Put on an engagement ring. Oh, look, I'm better than everybody else because I got an engagement ring. I got a man. Yeah, bitch. I guarantee the nigga's a narcissist like your father. When you grow up with narcissistic parents, you're going to attract a narcissistic man. And if you don't cut off your motherfucking narcissistic mother and father, you're going to continue to make the same fucking mistakes year after year after year after year. And you're going to allow your narcissistic mother and father to control you and keep you in this childlike position where they can control you with money and gifts to deny you of your independence. And you're too fucking dumb to see it. So you're just as a motherfucking narcissist as mommy and daddy is. That's my dumbass airheaded sister. My brother's the same way with my father. I'm the only one smart enough to break free from both them toxic motherfuckers. And that's why I'm doing well now. That's why I look fucking good. I'm successful. I'm bossed up. And can't nobody tell me nothing because I know who the fuck I am. I done been to the therapist. I got my paperwork and my diagnosis. Ain't no crazy here. I'm fucking woke and self-aware. So fuck all of them. But anyway, I strayed away from the conversation here. Let's talk about how your fucking parents will gaslight you when you call out their poor parenting. What I think is so hilarious now between my generation, Gen X, and the millennials, and some of Gen Z, we're cutting off these toxic baby boomer parents. And the baby boomer parents are having a fucking hissy fit. I mean, they got Facebook groups. They got these private Facebook groups where the baby boomer parents are in there complaining. My child, why my child won't speak to me. I don't know where I went wrong with raising my child. I did the best I could. My child still is giving me a hard time. They all in these Facebook groups complaining that their adult children and cut them off. In fucking denial. They're all delusional. I said, oh, bitch, you got cut off because you don't treat your adult children like fucking adults. You don't respect them as adults. You treat them like fucking children. You try to bully and control them. You want to be in their financial business. You want to control their fucking relationships. That's why you got cut the fuck off. And when your adult children try to get you to sit down and hear them out, you ain't trying to listen. You don't want to be accountable for the fucked up shit you did all throughout childhood. So yeah, you're going to get cut the fuck off. Go to your little Facebook group with the other toxic ass baby boomer parents, and all y'all motherfuckers can sit up and complain. Listen, y'all stay in that fucking group chat and just talk your fucking ears off. Because your adult children are tired. Baby, we are tired. We don't give a fuck no more. A lot of y'all old asses is going to rot in that fucking nursing home, and your adult children is not coming through, baby. A lot of us ain't coming to the funeral. A lot of us don't care about nothing. We want you gone. That's how motherfucking fed up us adult children are. We done tried 100 times to get through to you, mom and dad. You toxic motherfuckers. You're like a hamster on a goddamn hamster wheel. Just keep repeating the same fucking dysfunction. You're nice and then you're nasty. And we're just tired of giving chances. You motherfuckers are narcissists. You won't sit your ass down in therapy and get a diagnosis, but you talk shit about your children. All your children is going to end up in therapy for the damage you've caused them. Siren. This is what I wanted to say, y'all. There's something that my mother does. She gaslights all the time. You talking about lack of fucking accountability. She finds so many ways to excuse her abusive behavior. She tries to wiggle up out of being held accountable for being a fucking abuser. And the one line that she said, she didn't said a lot of shit, but this is the one thing that she says to me that irks my fucking soul. Her favorite line is, Chanel, you know there was no handbook on motherhood. There's no handbook on motherhood? What the fuck is that supposed to mean? Are we talking about all the times you abused me? You need a fucking handbook on how to teach you on how to not abuse a child? Is that, I'm trying to comprehend, what the fuck do you mean there's no handbook on motherhood? So you need a handbook to teach you how not to fucking abuse a child. That's my understanding. And it's gaslighting because it's a bunch of bullshit and it's a cop-out. No, and there actually are several handbooks on how to parent. There are handbooks back in the 70s and 80s. Absolutely. Absolutely. I pulled a couple of them. I posted some books on TikTok, books that were out when I was a baby. Libraries were available. Your local neighborhood library was full of information on parenting. If we want to get fucking technical. But my mother and father, lazy motherfuckers. They were too preoccupied with fighting and we were moving in and out of motels all over New Jersey. So they didn't have the time to go to the library or take parenting classes. But that's neither here nor there. Let's get on the abuse. Why do you need a handbook to teach you on how not to abuse a child? Riddle me this. And I'm a single mother. I know several single mothers. And I can absolutely say none of us are perfect. I'm sure I say to myself all the time, there are so many things that I could have done better as a single mother. Looking back at my history with my daughter, absolutely. If I could do certain things all over again or redo them to be a better mother, absolutely I would. But I would never justify abusing my child. Never. And that's what my mother and many other narcissistic parents do. They find a way to justify abusing their children. Oh, we did the best we could. Oh, there's no handbook on parenting. There's no handbook on motherhood. That's cop-outs. It's a bunch of fucking bullshit. Let me tell you something. Our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, he did not need a handbook to show empathy and love and kindness. You either have it inside of you or you don't. Love is a natural thing. God is love. We serve a God of love. And if you don't feel a connection, an empathetic connection to your child, then bitch, it means you're a fucking empty ass vessel. You don't love yourself. You don't know what the fuck love is. And just because your parents didn't teach you love, that's not a reason for you to give birth to a child and treat and shit on your child and treat your child the same fucking way. And you talking about your adult children need help. No, bitch, you need help. Because if your parents neglected you and treated you like shit when you were a child, I want to know, why would you turn around and do your own children the same fucking way when you know how painful that fucking felt? You know what it fucking feels like to be fucking neglected and unloved by your mother and father. So the first thing, when you had a baby, your first thing should have been, I don't want to do nothing like my mother and father did. I'm going to love my child. I'm going to nurture my child. And that don't mean spending money. Love cannot be bought. No, my mother repeated her abusive behavior. That's what narcissistic parents do. And then they try to justify their abusive behavior towards their children. Well, there was no handbook on motherhood. No, honey. You should not need a handbook to teach you on how to not abuse a child. And you definitely don't need a handbook to teach you how to love a child. It's natural. Either you have it inside of you or you fucking don't. And bitch, you don't. Bitch, you don't, because you're a fucking narcissist, a fucking sociopath. Our parents, the baby boomers, they only had children to keep up with appearances. The only reason they had children is because they was being pressured by their fucking families. My nana pressured my mother and father to have a fucking baby, knowing both the motherfuckers were not ready. They were too immature. They did not have the resources. They were broke. They were young. They were way too young. But they fell victim to the pressure of my nana. And both of them were both severely broken. You know, having children, like, you haven't worked on yourself, but you're going to bring a child into this world unprepared. And then when y'all get together and start living together and realize that this shit takes actual work, and then y'all realize y'all are not even fucking compatible, now y'all are making each other miserable. Now y'all are fist fighting. Now y'all are fucking frustrated. And guess what? You take your anger and rage and frustration out on your innocent babies. That's the whole baby boomer generation. They had kids for the wrong fucked up reasons. They had babies to trap their partner. But they were totally emotionally disconnected from the child. That's all, and that's it. So when my mother says there was no handbook on motherhood, no, what you mean is you needed a handbook or some tutorial to teach you on how not to fucking abuse your children. Do you know how fucked up that sounds? Basically, that's you admitting to you being a fucking abuser. And instead of you acknowledging that you need psychological help because you come from a fucked up background from two parents that emotionally neglected you and abandoned you, you rather just brush it off and say, there's no handbook. There was no handbook on motherhood. That's gaslighting, honey. And I'm going to tell y'all one last thing before I wrap this video up. Me being a single mother to a child with a developmental disability, my baby first started showing signs of ADHD when she was in daycare. She was still wearing diapers. She was 18 months old, and I would go to work. I worked for the state government in Albany, New York, and her daycare would call me every day. Miss Clark, your baby Caress, you know, she's punching and hitting the babies. She's punching her teachers. She's frustrated, and we think she needs to be evaluated. I would have to leave my job early every day to go pick my baby up because she was attacking these are babies. They're still they're toddlers. They're all wearing diapers. They're so sweet. They're like little people. And I'm like, I wanted to cry in daycare because I said, what's wrong with my baby? I don't want her hitting. I don't hit, she doesn't see me hit anybody. She doesn't see me fighting with no man. Her father is not around. So like, why is she hitting babies and hitting her teachers? And she's still wearing a diaper. She's a little toddler. Oh my God. So the director sat me down. They said, we think she needs to be evaluated. We see that she's frustrated and something else could be going on. So they gave me some numbers to call. And immediately, without blinking, I got her the help she needed. I put my ego to the side. This is not about me. I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks about me or my child. Nobody has to know, this is my first time being a mother. This is all new to me. But instinctively, in my heart, I knew I didn't want my baby to suffer. I needed to know immediately what was wrong. I got her evaluated immediately. I did not play no games. I didn't waste no time. I got my child evaluated. And sure enough, they said she needs to be placed in a specialized school. She needs recreational therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy because she could not, what it was, she was hitting the children and physically assaulting her teachers because she could not verbally express herself. She couldn't talk. She was delayed in her talking and her speech. And the only way she could express herself was with her hands. She was so frustrated. So they said the state will pay for all her schooling. They'll pay for transportation, which is a huge help for me because daycare was bleeding my pockets as a single mother. So the state paid for everything. Transportation free. They came to the house, picked her up every day on the school bus. The school was paid. The program was amazing. She went to a special school called Clover Patch School. It was a school for children with developmental disabilities. Children were in there with cerebral palsy and all types of stuff. But her classroom, there was probably 6, very small classroom. They said she needs to be in a classroom where it's a little small group of children, not a large classroom where she can be overwhelmed and overstimulated. So a small group of children, and there were 4 adults. So she had a main teacher. I think there were like 2 therapists in the room and maybe a teacher aide. There was 4 adults constantly monitoring the small group of children to give the children the attention. My daughter they could tell she had ADHD when she was only 18 months old. They knew it immediately. But in that specialized school, she got all the therapy. She developed, her speech, she could talk. It was an amazing program. Shout out to Miss Joan. They loved her dearly. She graduated and everything from that program. I say all this to say, as a first-time mother, I didn't have a handbook either, but I had a heart. And instead of putting my pride and worried about what others think and my reputation, I said, no, I don't want my baby to suffer. I don't want my baby to go through life suffering. I need to get her some help immediately. Put her in therapy ASAP. And I compare that with my mother. And at that time, that was the same time my mother prank called Child Protective Services to try to get me in trouble and lie and say that my daughter doesn't have no food and I'm a bad mother. And like I said, Child Protective Services investigated. What my mother did not know is that my daughter was in a specialized school. 4 teachers in a classroom. If my daughter was being abused, trust me, all 4 teachers would have noticed it and reported me first. But see, this is how God works. When that social worker came to interview her teachers about me, all 4 teachers across the board, amazing mother. Caress is a beautiful little girl. She's dressed beautifully every day. Her hair, my daughter's hair was down her back. She was 2 years old and she had beautiful hair. Hair, pretty, pigtails every day, well-dressed, clean, huge, big old fat pot belly. She loved to eat. She was always stuffing her face, so she's not underfed. Her teachers gave me such amazing reviews. So then, the social worker came to my house to inspect my house. I had a small little studio. What would I need a big apartment for when it's just me and my baby? And she sleeps in a bed with me. She said, this is a cute little apartment. I said, yeah, I let my sister spend the weekend here. And my sister ran back to Delaware where my mother lives and told my mother I lived in a fucked up apartment. And that's what happened. My mother prank called Child Protect. My mother hasn't stepped foot in the apartment to see it for herself, just being fucking hateful and prank calling them. So, like I said in the story, the social worker said, listen, I'm going to close this case in 2 weeks. It was obviously a prank call, but we still have to investigate even if it's a prank call. And she said, wait a minute, don't I know you? She said, you go to my church. And I said, do we go to the same church? Sure enough, we go to the same church. She recognized my face. She said, you going to be all right, girl. Close my case. No abuse found it. It was a fuck you to my mother. So I look back and I compare me to my mother. My mother had no empathy. She could make all the fucking excuses she want. Oh, there's no handbook. I did the best I could. No, you didn't do the best. No, you didn't. You and my father failed. Y'all were fucking horrible. You both lacked empathy. You both did not have an emotional connection to your children. All you can fucking say is, we made sure you had a roof over your head and food to eat. And that's not love. That's financial obligation. If you don't take care of your children, you go to fucking jail and your children go into foster care. You only took care of us financially because by law you have to, or you'll be penalized. You'll be exposed for being piece of shit parents. And we all know you're so worried about your reputation. You cannot let people think that you're not feeding and clothing your children and you can't keep a roof over your head. That's all about you and your reputation. So that's not love. That's what we call financial obligation. But see, your baby boomer parents will convince you that that's love. It's not love. The only reason they provided for us financially is because by law they had to. You bring a child into this world, if you don't take care of it, you can go to jail for neglect and your child can go into foster care. So when the narcissist has to face consequences legally, they tend to straighten up. But all that love stuff, reading your child a bedtime story and hugs and kisses, my mother was not affectionate. She had no empathy. She was emotionally disconnected. Okay, so I say all this to say, either you have it in you to love your child naturally. That's something that cannot be taught. It's something you don't learn out of a goddamn handbook. You don't need a handbook on how to love a child. Period. And I'm so over the gaslighting. What that translates to me when I hear my mother or any other toxic, trifling woman say, oh, there's no handbook on motherhood. What they really mean is there's no handbook on how to teach you how not to abuse a child. Let that marinate. Y'all have a happy holiday. Let's talk about it in the comments section. I know I was all over the place in this video, but I can't fucking stand toxic parents, toxic family members that co-sign your parents' bullshit. They're all anybody that fucking supports my mother at this point, knowing she's married to a pedophile, knowing she fucking abused me, knowing she allowed me to walk around my entire childhood undiagnosed with a disability and still fucking bullied and abused me. Anyone that supports my mother at this point can eat a dick. Fuck you too, bitch. Happy holidays.